everyone, it's Gina K from Gina K Designs, and I am so excited to have you all here this evening. If we have a little camera trouble that happens every once in a while, I don't know why, might be the time of day, but we will make sure that we pop it back on as quickly as possible. So welcome to Stampin' Chat and happy World Card Making Day to everybody out there. World Card Making Day is my favorite day of the year because it's the day that we get to celebrate our wonderful hobby. And we're going to have a little special today. Actually, this is just for our live viewers. So if you're watching this live, you get to participate in this special. And if you watch the replay, you'll also be able to participate in the special, but we're not posting it anywhere else. So this one is for you. So today we're going to be using lots of different colors of ink. So we thought this is the perfect day to put ink on sale with a coupon code. So we're going to do 15% off all single ink pads, ink cubes, and re-inkers using the code LIVEINK15. And so you just fill your cart with whatever inks you want and then put that code in, hit apply, and you will see the discount come off on your ink products. So we'll let that scroll on the bottom for a little bit while we start talking about what we're going to do today. So for World Card Making Day, I thought it would be fun to do some ink blending. And I've done lots of rainbows and things like that, but I thought today might be fun to use some color combinations that I haven't used before in a live to create the look of sunrise and sunset. And for the stamp set that I'm going to be using today, it's going to be this one here. This is the Autumn Silhouette stamp set. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Let me find my remote somewhere in the big mess on my desk. Autumn Silhouettes is a fantastic stamp set for this type of stamping because you have these huge silhouette images and you can really take advantage of that beautiful ink blended background. Now, another stamp set that I can use for this as well, if you don't have this one, because this was in our kit and it sold out a little earlier this month, is this one here. I'm going to hide this name. Let me get a different piece of cardstock. This one here is our natural silhouettes. So you've also got another big, like that's almost as big as these, silhouette. You can also do a lot of these and do them in autumn colors if you want, and also this one will work. So if you don't have the autumn silhouettes, you can use the natural silhouettes to do this as well. Or you can use stamps that you already have in your collection. And I'm sure everybody has some sort of silhouette stamp that they can use to play along today. Now, another stamp set that I'm going to use for this is the Zen Flowers. I'm actually going to do a full-blown live video using these huge flowers, and I'll probably do that next week because I haven't used this one yet in a live. But these greetings would be really nice to use in my cards today, so I might be tapping into this set as well. We'll see. All right, so let's get started. Now, I want to just give you a little hint here about ink blending. Ink blending, you need three things to do great ink blending. The first thing you need is great ink. And I think that the Gina K Designs dye ink is a great ink for ink blending. So the colors that I'm going to use for this particular one, I'm going to see how these work together. I'm thinking of some blue denim, which is pretty dark, a little scary. Let's see, some Tranquil Teal, maybe a little either sea glass or turquoise sea. I'm going to kind of see how it goes. And then I'm going to blend a color in that shouldn't blend at all. I'm going to use some sweet mango. So we're going to see how this looks. The look that I'm going for is more of a sunset where that sun is low in the sky and then you still kind of get that nice lighter blue, but then at the top it's very, very dark blue. So we'll see how well I do with this one. I think I'm going to work my way up from the bottom up instead of from the top down for this one. So you need a high quality ink for blending. And then you also need a high quality cardstock. And this is what trips people up a lot. They'll say, well, I have a really good cardstock. I have something that I think is smooth. But honestly, I just have to tell you that if you haven't tried the Gina K Designs white cardstock, I don't think you've felt smooth cardstock. I know that a lot of people love Nina, and it's a great cardstock, but this is truly the smoothest cardstock you will find on the market. And you'll know it immediately. The minute you touch it, you're going to say, oh yeah, this is different. So I would say, I mean, use what you have now to play along and get some ideas and practice. But if you're having trouble and you're getting lots of brush marks and it's not going well, just try to get a smoother cardstock. The other thing you need are good blending brushes. There's lots of great blending brushes out there on the market. Today I'm going to be using the Simon Says Stamp blending brushes. There's also the Picket Fence Studio blending brushes that I use. And next month, we have our very own blending brushes coming out. So I'm really excited about that. So that's something to look forward to. Now, to clean blending brushes, the hairs on these blending brushes are actually not like porous hairs like you have on your head. They're not natural hairs. They're actually made of a plastic. So that makes it very easy to clean these. You can just take something like the Tidy Towel and you can just rub the brush over a damp Tidy Towel. And that will get the majority of the ink off, and then you can just rub the excess off and kind of dry the bristles at the same time on a piece of paper towel. Now, if you want to every once in a while give your brushes a good bath, you can do that with a little bit of baby shampoo. Get them under the water, scrub them with some baby shampoo, wait until the soap runs all the way out, and then let them dry overnight. And when I dry them overnight, I actually dry them face down. And that's because this way, all of the ink that's kind of pooling down near the bottom will pour toward the front and drip off. And I feel like when I dry them this way, 3 days later, they're still not dry because there's just water stuck down there. So when you turn them over, they'll dry a lot faster. Okay, so let's get started with this first blend. And if I touch my fingers to ink one more time and get an ink smear, I'm going to scream. This is World Card Making Day. We're not supposed to have too many mistakes, but that is one of the things about card making that I love. It's trial and error. You try new things, you make mistakes, and it's only a little piece of paper. Michelle, our blending brushes are coming out for our next release, which is late in October, actually October 19th. I'm praying that they're going to be here. They're still not here yet, but I got a shipping notice a couple of weeks ago, so they should be here soon. Okay, so I'm going to start down at the bottom with some Sweet Mango ink.
Is that heavy white?
No, this is not heavy white. This cardstock is our layering weight white. It's a very thin white cardstock, great for card layers, doesn't add a lot of extra weight to your card. And I'm going to start by working from off the cardstock and blend up a little bit. So I'm actually starting down here and I'm just hitting the cardstock a little bit. I keep moving up. Now, the other thing that I want you to know about our ink, and when I say you need a good quality ink, our ink has a smoothing agent in it, which means that you can blend and blend and blend, and you might see a little bit of blotchiness, but then once that ink dries, it dries like an airbrushed finish. That's the smoothing agent in it. So it's a very, very high quality ink. You can also do some water reactive techniques with our ink. You can watercolor with it by maybe using a few drops of re-inker or smush an ink cube onto an acrylic block and spritz it with water. So there's lots of things that you can do with it. It dries super fast. So you're not likely to smear it once you've actually ink blended or stamped with it. It's a very, very fast drying ink. So you can see I'm going over this in layers. So I'm not trying to get all the color down in just one, swish of the brush. I'm going back over it again and again to deepen up the layers. All right. I think this is looking pretty good. A little bit more on there. Sweet Mango is a great color for a sunset. Another great color that we have for a sunset, of course, is the Tangerine Twist. That is a much more orangey orange, where the mango is a little bit more of a yellowy orange. So our ink pads and cubes are all back in stock, all of the colors. We don't have our sets, but they're not on special anyway, so It's just the singles. So it's a great time to complete your collection or pick up those colors that you love. I did see a question asking if our ink does the little white spots. Is that what that question was? Like a distress ink or like a, sorry about that, like a distress ink. Woo, camera's giving us trouble. Or an oxide ink. And yes, it does. It actually does those little droplet marks if you spritz it with water. So I was going to do that today to show you. All right, so I have been working on this color for a while. But if you look closely, you can see it's very, very smooth. Okay. Don't worry if you just joined us. If you just got here, we just started. I haven't been on very long at all. Okay, so now I'm going to use a little bit of sea glass because I want to blend, and this is not a good color to blend. This goes against everything that I've ever told you guys about blending colors together. I always say go right next to each other on the color wheel. This is not next to each other on the color wheel, but this is going to look okay because when I blend a little sea glass in there, you're going to get just a little haze of green. And remember, we're not trying to make a rainbow where everything just like fades into each other perfectly. We're trying to make the look of a sunset. So this is going to go okay, I think. Fingers crossed. All right. So yes, the October kit is going to be a holiday kit, and it is a huge holiday kit. So I can't wait to show it to you. All right. I am inking up this brush with some sea glass. Now I'm going to be very gentle here. I don't want to go too hard at all. I'm going to go right kind of over this line where it looks a little bit more yellowy. All right, and I'm just going to bring that color in. And you can see it's starting to turn like a little bit of a green. See that there? I don't want to go too far down into the orange, but I'm making it just a little bit green. Not a color that I would normally blend together again, but I really need this at the, kind of like at the horizon line there so that I can get my darker colors in there. I need something to blend those darker colors into. So sea glass is going to be a really good one. Okay. Now, if you feel like you want, you can always go back with the sweet mango and go over that line again. Okay. Now, remember, a lot of times when you're blending, you might look at it and go, I don't know if this is working. Just give it a little bit of time and make sure you don't give up until you actually have the silhouette stamp on top, because that changes everything. So now I'm going to go a little bit darker. I'm going to use some Turquoise Sea, and I don't have to clean the brush at all because I'm going from a light turquoise to a little bit of a deeper turquoise, and that is not going to be a problem. So I'm going to do the same thing again. And let me just give you a little tip here about blending. So when you have these blending brushes that have these flexible necks, when I say flexible, this is what I mean, that you can bend the neck. So the darker the ink, like if you want that ink to be really dark, put your finger on the tip of the brush when you're blending and put some pressure on it. Okay, just put some pressure on it. We're gonna keep scrolling the code across the bottom for you guys, so you don't have to worry about asking for the code. We'll leave it down there at the bottom for a little bit. But I also do want to say that if you're watching this video like next week and this the sale is over, we can't give the discount. This discount is only available today and tomorrow. So that's October 3rd and October 4th. It'll end at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. Okay, so like I was saying, when you want darker color, put pressure on the neck of the brush while you're blending. If you don't want as much pressure and you want it like kind of a mid, like not super light, but you want it somewhere in the middle, just hold your finger on the brush while you do it. If you want it to be super light, just take your finger off and just let the bristles do the work. So when I'm starting, I'm just going to start this with no pressure at all here, because I really don't want a lot of ink to blotch on there. And as I get darker, as I do a couple layers, I can actually start putting a little more pressure on this. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Okay, again, I'm adding some more of this Turquoise Sea. And now I'm going to start putting a little pressure on it because now I have color. I have enough color down there that I can go a little bit darker, and it's going to keep my, that's our doorbell. I don't know who's at the door. It's probably something political. We're doing a live. Tom, you want to yell at them? Last time Tom was yelling at our neighbor for cutting the grass. All right, so now I'm going to go to my next color, and that is going to be Tranquil Teal. So this is even a darker one. Yes, the discount's scrolling across the bottom, bling bling crafter. So, okay, again, no pressure at all, just letting the bristles hit this lightly. I'm working my way back down into that Turquoise Sea. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit of pressure. Oh, I love when the sky's starting to get darker now. And you see how I'm kind of like going around as well? Kind of just doing almost a little arc there. Some of that's going to get cut off though, because I'm going to cut this off with a die. So I'm not worried about the edges so much. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my darkest color. I am going to cut this with the Master Layouts 2 die, so I want to make sure that I've got enough here. So I'm going to make that real dark up in there. So my darkest color is going to be Blue Denim. Here we go. This scares me. All right. Oh, yeah, I like this. I like this color a lot. It looks very purpley. I think it's mixing a little bit with whatever blue was on that brush earlier. I've used so many blues, but this Blue Denim, I guess it's because it's right next to Turquoise Sea and Tranquil Teal that it looks so purpley. I really like the way it looks. And now I'm going to bring that down into the turquoise more to really deepen that up. And you could go really dark. You could go in the navy up at the top too if you wanted. Oh yeah, I like it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm just going to wipe that a little bit. I do have another finger mark here. Now, if we let this dry for a little bit, you're not going to see any brush mark or any imperfections at all. This is going to look perfect. But let's see if I could just dry it a little bit with my Wagner heat tool. I have a couple other combinations to do too. I don't know what it is about ink blending, but no matter how many times I do it, I just want to do it some more. It's just always so fun. Oh, Ruth, the layering weight cardstock. I just got a shipping notice for that too. We should have a huge amount of that coming in. The layering weight. Tom, you don't know if we have any yet, do you? Did any come in yet? You think it did? Layering weight white, yeah. Oh yeah. So Tom said that we have some. So it must have come into the warehouse and didn't get counted and bagged yet. So you can look for that in another day. Probably another day or two. All right, so now I'm going to get my Misty out here. And I'm going to put it up here at the top. Now remember, I want to cut this out lower down here. But I'm not going to cut it out first. I'm going to stamp it first to make sure my stamping looks good, and then I can figure out the best place to cut it. Okay. I haven't done a live in the morning or in the afternoon like this, and it's kind of nice. So I'm going to do like this. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this one and put this one on here. Isn't it fun? You can see the discount code scrolling across the bottom of the screen, Carolyn. Okay. So this is a stamp that I have not used yet. So I'm just going to put it on my MISTI here, and I'm going to rub my finger all over it. I just want to show you that little trick. When the stamp is super clear like that, it's not going to take ink very well because it's got muck on it from the manufacturing process. So I take my hand or my fingers and I rub all over it, and you'll start to see it turn almost a little bit opaque. And that really, I don't know, it's probably hard to see that on, on the screen, but when you do that, it will take the ink so much better. Some people rub it on their arm or on their, like on their forearm or wherever, but I find that like just rubbing over it with my fingers really makes a difference. Of course, you can use Versamark first on a new stamp to get it to stamp a little bit better, or you can just scrub it at the sink. Please don't ever use a nail file though. I've seen people say file it or sand it down a little bit. You never have to do that with a high quality photopolymer stamp. And once you get that residue off of there, it'll work great every time. All right, let's put that here. I'm trying to decide where to put a greeting. Would I be putting it over here? Would I be putting, maybe I'll put it just at the top. So we'll see. And I might even use a smaller greeting just because this is going to be so striking that I don't know that I want to mess it up with too much of a greeting, just something little. All right. So I'm going to use some black onyx ink here. And I'm going to ink this up. Now this might require me to stamp this more than once. Boy, I got ink everywhere. What a messy stamper I am. I'm going to clean that off there. All right, ink that up again. But you can see it's really taking the ink better now, even though it's like taking it everywhere. But this should work. Okay, I'm going to stamp that. And I'm going to use my Chucky tool. So Chuck Meadows, if you're out there watching today, Chuck made this for me out of a curtain finial and a, hang on. Is it not working? I don't know if you guys can still hear me. We're trying to get it started again. All right. We're back. We're almost back. Okay, we're back. Woo! Here we go. Now I'm going to stamp it a second time. Sorry the camera keeps going out, guys. Camera keeps giving us trouble. Our camera's going out because everybody in the world is doing Facebook Live today, I think. I'm going to stamp this a second time. Ooh, it went out again. Right. Okay, I think you guys can still hear me. We're still working on this. Don't know why this is happening. It's a little frustrating tonight, but all right, here we go. Don't go away. Don't go away. All right. Sorry, guys. I know this is really frustrating. Not sure why it's happening. I don't know if you guys can hear me when the front camera goes out and I'm continuing to talk, but I will just keep doing that just in case. So at least you can see now. Yeah, tech gremlins for sure. I also think it's because everybody and their mother is on Facebook Live right now. So who knows? But we'll do the best that we can to try to not bump anything and make it do that again. So what do you guys think? Doesn't that look nice? Isn't that pretty? Doesn't it just give you that feeling of a sunset? Okay, so let's cut it out using a die. I will get my spellbinders here. This is my spellbinders machine. And I'm going to back out just a little bit. Yes, thank you guys. I'm so glad you can still hear me. I'll remember that so I don't swear when the camera goes out that you guys can still hear me. Okay, and now I'm going to cut this out with the Master Layouts die. So I'm going to position this. I'm going to move it up just a little bit and position it. Let's see if I can move this up more so you guys can see. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. I know it's frustrating. I'll make it a little off center, and I think there's going to be plenty of room to put a greeting up near the top. So I'm going to do it a little off center and get my plate in there and cut. Here we go. I need a few extra. Yeah, Roxanne, every once in a while, I swear. I really do. Okay, now that's got a lot of kind of like shrapnel from my plate being dirty, but there we go. That's what that looks like. So the colors on this, I'll just go over them real quick just in case you just joined us. We've got Sweet Mango and then Sea Glass to kind of blend along the border because that's not two colors that really should be able to blend together. So we just turned it almost a little bit green. And then we really did the Sea Glass heavy, Turquoise Sea, Tranquil Teal into Blue Denim. All right, and you can see now that this is drying just how smooth that ink dried. And I didn't do any texturizing to this with the water. I'll do it to the next one, but I wanted to just show you that smooth blend. All right, let me move this out of the way. And I'm going to cut this next one with my paper cutter. This next piece, even though it won't be as perfect as cutting it with the die, I'm just going to do it quick here because I want to get to the next one. And the other reason is I think this is already the right size. Yeah, it is. I'm just cleaning it up a little. Okay, no, that's not even near the right size. That was for the master layouts one size. So I'll just cut this with my paper cutter. And if you want to know the sizes for the master layouts 2 die set, this is actually 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And then this is 1/8 of an inch bigger on both sides. So with all this color, there's no way I'm going to use colored card base with this. I'm definitely going to use a white card base. So let me just get some tape out of my drawer and layer these 2 pieces together. And you're going to see this whole thing pop to life as soon as I get it on that white cardstock, that white card base. And welcome to anybody who's joining us today, this afternoon. This is our World Card Making Day Saturday special. We do have a little bit of a special going on today, and I'll have Tom scroll that along the bottom. Look at that with the white. That's the bomb right there. So we're offering all of our single ink pads, ink cubes, and re-inkers at 15% off today and tomorrow only. And you just have to use the code LIVE, like we're doing a live right now, Live Ink 15, and that's scrolling across the bottom there. All right, so there is my first card, and this is my sunset card. So this is sunset in Wisconsin right now. I have to put a greeting in there though. So you almost don't want to. How about may all your weeds be wildflowers? I'm going to do that, and I think I wonder if that would show up in black. May all your weeds be, I think it would. May all your weeds be wildflowers. I'm going to do it in black. But, you know, I think the other alternative, if this doesn't look great, I can always do it in white embossing powder next time I make this card. So I think I'll do it that way. I think I'm going to try it first this way, and I'm going to rub my finger over it because I have not used this greeting yet. I don't think I did. So somebody asked what stamp set this is, and this is actually our latest kit. This is called Festive Fall. Now this kit did sell out pretty quickly, but we've got all the stamps and dies on reorder. So when that comes back in, you'll be able to buy the stamp sets and the die sets separately. So I think we're going to do okay with black here. Oh, I hope you guys are having, look at that, a smudge. Smudge, smudge, smudge. I will get that with my mono sand eraser. I hope you guys are having an enjoyable weekend, and I hope that you are planning some card making time this weekend for World Card Making Day. It's almost like it's mandatory. So I think, if you have other people in your family, you just tell them that it's it's World Card Making Day, and this weekend I'm required, as a card maker, I'm required to make cards. Okay, I'm going to use my ink cube. Whenever I do greetings, I like to use an ink cube. It controls where the ink goes a little bit better. So that might be a good one to pick up this weekend, a black onyx ink cube. You just get so much control out of it. Okay, and then I'm going to use my Chucky tool. Some people are using dry erasers, like for the erase boards. And that works too. Oh, there it is. Yeah, see, I like it in the black. It just doesn't take away from anything. All right. Now, for those of you who are watching me through YouTube and maybe found out about this through YouTube or our newsletter, we have a Facebook group that we would love to have you join. We'll put the name of that up on the bottom, and it's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. So Tom will throw a banner up there so you can jot down the name of our Facebook group. And after every live, I take high quality pictures of my cards, and then I post them on the Facebook group and also on our Facebook page so you can see them better, because live is good, but nothing is like seeing that nice crisp photo. So I'm going to put this card aside. We'll let it just sit, and we're going to start the next ink blending combination. All right, so I wrote down a few different combinations I really wanted to try. So let's do like a sunrise, like a beautiful, kind of like a bright yellow and orange kind of sky. So I think the colors I want to use for that, I'm going to use some Coral Reef. I'm going to use some Sweet Mango. I could use Tangerine Twist, but I think between these two colors, it'll make Tangerine Twist when I blend them together. And I'll use a little bit of Wild Dandelion. So I see somebody asked me how often I go live. So I usually go live twice a week, usually on Monday and Wednesday. But because it is World Card Making Day, and because I couldn't go on Monday because I had a dilated eye exam, which was very traumatic. It really wasn't, but I'm just being dramatic right now. Because of that, I couldn't see. My pupils were so dilated that I could only see really far away, and that really isn't very helpful when you're making cards. So I had to cancel my Monday, and it worked out perfectly because it's World Card Making Day today, so I could get my second one in here. Okay, so this had some craft ink on it. Could have been honey mustard or something like that, and I'm just trying to get most of the excess off of there. And then I'm going to ink this up with some Wild Dandelion, and I'm just going to check it on my paper towel and make sure it's bright. Yes, it is. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, so I'm going to start with some Wild Dandelion. And Sherry, your husband didn't believe that World Card Making Day was really a thing? Come on. Of course it's a thing. Oh, it does kind of sound a little made up though, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to start here at this one side, and again, I'm going to use a real light pressure. I think I'm going to like this color combination a lot, and then we can decide which way we want to stamp it. But this one feels like a bright sunrise, like in the summer. This color combination. All right. So I got my finger on it now. I'm putting a little more pressure. But you can see how pretty that's blending. Super easy to blend our inks. And then I have another combination that I'm dying to try. So we'll get that one in today too. I don't even know what time it is because I used to be able to see the time at the top, and I can't even see that anymore. So Tom, you'll have to keep me informed of how long I'm going.
What occasion would you use that first card?
The first card, may all your weeds be wildflowers. I would use that maybe for a friendship card, just to let somebody know I'm thinking about them. I'm hoping that everything's going really well. It would also make a nice birthday greeting. You could say, happy birthday, may all your weeds be wildflowers. So I think there's a few a few options for that. And it's also very encouraging. You know, somebody's maybe starting a new job or they're starting school and you're wishing them the best. May all your weeds be wildflowers. Okay, so now I'm going to add that sweet mango in here. And I'm going to go right over the line, super light. In fact, that's so light, you can't even see it. But it's going. I can see it a little bit, just enough that you can see something happening there. All right, now I'm going to work my way down a little bit more. And remember that the trick to ink blending, high quality ink that dries really smooth, high quality, super smooth cardstock, and a decent blending brush, but also a light touch. It's better to go over it 3 or 4 times, layering the ink on, than getting a big blotch in the center of your card. So, and practice, you have to practice this. It's like anything else. Just give it a little bit of time and kind of get a feel for your tools. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. And it's only paper. So if you absolutely hate it, throw it away. Start over. Don't stress. It's not like, oh my gosh, I ruined a piece of paper. What'd you ruin? A nickel? So don't worry about it. Now I'm going back over with the yellow brush to kind of blend out that line a little bit more. Okay. It looks really, really weird. Oh, Kelly, this special was not good on the full set. So only good on the singles. And the full set is discounted. All right, so now I'm adding a little bit more of that, and then I'm going to go in with the Coral Reef. But I want to check with my die to make sure that I have enough yellow and enough orange. And I think I need to go down a little bit more. Need to go down. Hey, Tom. Sorry, guys. Our camera's getting all messed up here. Okay. I'm back. So I want to make sure that I had enough room on that cardstock. And so I felt like I needed a little bit more orange because once I cut that out, I think it wouldn't have been enough. It'd be too much red. All right. Now it's time to add that red. So I'm going to get a red brush here. We're having a little struggle today. Doesn't do this for us at night. Our system must be like a night owl. What's a Chucky tool? That's a great question. This is a friend of mine, Chuck Meadows, made this for me. It's made of a curtain finial, a furniture pad, and he Gorilla Glued it together, and it helps put pressure on my Misty. All right, so I'm going in with some Coral Reef now, and I'm going to work that from the bottom. I got a big smear, but that's all right. We'll see if we can blend that out. And if not, we won't worry about it. We will find a way to stamp our image right on top of that smear. Okay. So you can see I'm coming in heavy on the Coral Reef at the bottom. It's always something with technology, right, guys? But, it could be worse. I actually remember one time I was doing a virtual show and the whole system went down and I had to grab my iPhone and I was like holding my iPhone while I was trying to do a demo. So this could be worse. All right, so I'm going to keep working my way up here into that orange. Yep, so I have wild dandelion, sweet mango, and Coral Reef. Boy, I don't know which way the thing is going to look better. So let's lay the stamp sheet on it, and you guys can tell me what you think. I really like this. Should I spritz this one with water? Why don't I do a little spritz, and we'll get some of those little spotties in there. Okay, so if you've never done the spritz technique before, this is a Tim Holtz Distress Sprayer bottle. This is a very old bottle. That's why it looks so yellow. If you see it up against cardstock, it looks so yellow. And the water's not yellow, the water's crystal clear in here. It's just that the plastic is so old, it's yellowed over the years. So I am going to just do a spritz over this. And once I do that, I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to blot it up. All right, so here we go. I'm holding it kind of high up. I know you can't really see that, but I'm holding it kind of high up in the air and I'm just going to. Okay. And then I'm going to just use my piece of paper towel and I'm going to dry that a bit. So can you see the lighter parts coming up? It's kind of hard to see on the live. I think it probably looks a little bit more vibrant in the darker shades, but I think you can get the idea. So Jan, you're watching on YouTube. Where you access the replay is right where you are right now. So once this video is over, then the replay will just stay up on the YouTube channel. All right, so a very common question I see people ask me, I want to get started with ink cubes or ink pads, and what are good colors to start with? And I'm a big rainbow fan. So I would say pick a good red, pick a good orange, a yellow, a green, a blue, a purple, and then maybe a pink. And start with that. So do you guys like this way? Or do you like this way? I think I like it the other way. I think I like the yellow down at the bottom. I think you're all going to say that too. I hope you are. Yellow. So, down at the bottom. I think you're all going to say that too. Oh, let me turn my phone off. I hope you are. Okay. There we go. Everything. Now, my phone just went on by itself. So that's telling me that something is weird in the world. Now, this is the Autumn Silhouette stamp set. I'm going to use the Natural Silhouette stamp set for this card. So I'm going to use this one right here. Yeah, yellow at the bottom. Okay, we're all in agreement. So let's get the Natural Silhouettes. I just feel like trying this one with it. And because this is a little damp still, I might have to stamp it more than one time. And you can see I'm like moving it up here. And that's because I am going to cut it out with this die. Ooh, it's sticking. And I definitely want to have, you know, more of that warm at the top. Okay. So here we go. All right, let me put this back in position. It's a little warpy now from the water. And I'm going to use, again, the black onyx. You're not that late to the party. We're still partying. We've got lots of time. For anybody who's just joining us, we've got lots of time. All right, here we go. I'm going to have to stamp this a second time, I think. Just because the cardstock's a little wet. So let's stamp it a second time, ink it up again. And stamp. Okay, that's going to be good. I feel it. Yes. That could be a little better right in there. Maybe I'll take my ink cube and I'll just stamp that one little part. And put a little pressure on it right there.
You have a
there we
printable
go.
list of ink colors.
Printable list of ink colors? I do not have a printable list of ink colors. But what I recommend is if you go onto our website, you can actually search by category down to things like ink cubes or ink pads. So if you do that, they're going to come up in alphabetical order. And You can either print those pages off of the website. Also, in our Facebook group, there have been some people who have made color charts. So that would be a great thing for you to go and find. Join our Facebook group, Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends, and check out the files section. Because the files section is loaded with goodies and treats. I've made all kinds of different things for you, like how to use the master layouts dies and different combinations that you can, ways that you can lay them out. And I just did one for a little treat box that we did the other night on a live. So there's lots of charts and things that people have shared in there. So I think that's a great place to find a good printout of all our colors. All right, so I'm going to take this up here like this. And I might go off to the side again, and that'll give me a little room to stamp a greeting up near the top. Okay. I like this color combination. It's so bright and fun. That's true. You can do a screenshot on our website. We've got the full set collection, and that will have all the different colors on it. I don't think it includes our amalgam, but okay. So what do you think of that? Do you like that color combination? So what I'm going to do is when I post these cards, I will actually list the colors that I used in the description of the cards. So this way you'll know what colors I used. Yes, thank you, Gloria. If you could make sure you hit the like button on this video and also hit subscribe. I would love to have you as a subscriber. Then you'll never miss another live again or any other kind of video that I put up. All right, so I'm going to put this onto a black piece of cardstock again. You guys know I am in love with the little black line going around the outside. Okay. And then I have one more I'm going to do, even if we go over a few minutes, especially because you guys have been so kind and you've hung in there with us through our technical difficulties. Right.
Will the cardstock you mentioned be in stock before the sale is over?
Yeah, I'll put it in stock after the live because I know we have it. I know it came in because the white, yeah, the white layering. Yeah, we'll make sure we get that in stock. We will do that. I know we got a ton of it. Okay, so that's kind of cool. You can see the little dots in there. See them kind of off to the side. And then that will go onto a white. It has to go onto the white, right? Let me zoom in again. I almost shut down the camera by accident. That would have been just another day, right? Okay, so let's figure out a greeting that will go on this one. I definitely want to use another one from the new autumn silhouettes. So you've been in my thoughts. My heart is filled with gratitude. I like you've been in my thoughts. I think it's going to fit in there really nice too. And that's a great card to send to people, especially because we're also, you know, we haven't seen a lot of people over quite a while now. All right, you've been in my thoughts. Now, this is going to be a bit of a bumpy one because I did the water spritz on this. So sorry if my head's in the way. Just have to make sure it's straight. Okay. Alrighty. And again, this one I'm going to do in black onyx. And I'm going to use my little ink cube for this. Okay. I remember one time I made a video and somebody wrote in the comments that I inked up my stamps too loud. I inked up my stamps too loud, Tom. Can you control that for me over there with all the controls?
I'm busy trying not to breathe too loud.
Oh, Tom's trying not to breathe and shut the camera off by accident. Okay, I think this one might be my favorite.
Although cardstock for the blending.
So I use the Master Layouts 2 die set to cut that down, and that is 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. That's the size of that cardstock. So what did I do with my tape now? That's gone. Oh my gosh, do you guys do that? Oh, here it is. It's sitting right on the screen. Where is it? Where is it? People yelling at me. Oh, last tape runner. Let's see if I have any more here. Let me look at my drawer. So our refills have been out of stock. ThermoWeb is the one who makes our tape runners. And the refills have been out of stock, but they said they've got a large shipment coming. Everything, I believe everything in the US right now is low stock. Every time I try to buy something anywhere, I know the manufacturers are having so much trouble getting everything in. Okay, so there we go. I have a full one here now. I can make cards all day for World Card Making Day. Okay. Oh, I like that color combo. All right, so here's the two we've done so far. Pretty ink blending combos. All right, one more card we're gonna do. So let me get my ugly piece of cardstock here to work on. What was that? So the whole screen, there we go, okay.
One of the,
Okay, so now for this one, I've got a bunch of color combinations here. I'm not going to get to all of them, but it'll give me a chance to do some in another video. But one color combination that I think is going to be beautiful is Tranquil Teal. So it's going to be very dark at the top. Turquoise Sea, Sea Glass, and Sandy Beach. Now, Sandy Beach, maybe you didn't expect that one, but I think that that is going to be a really fun color to add into this mix. I don't know if I have an empty blending brush for Sandy Beach. Let's see. Here's a little blending brush. I can't wait to get my blending brushes. I think I'm actually going to do one for almost every color because I spend so much time ink blending. I love ink blending and I spend so much time doing it, and I won't get it for every color, but I'll get it for every color that I use for ink blending. All right, I want to make sure.
Use the leaf images.
The leaf images? I'm going to use the leaves. Did you happen to see the person who said that they wanted to see the leaf images? Did you happen to see the ink blending video that I did? Sue, did you happen to see the one that I did where I used the leaves and I masked off and did ink blending and did the leaves kind of in a swirl? That's a really fun video. All right, I'm going to start with Sandy Beach. And I'm going to use Sandy Beach at the bottom. So I'm going to ink this brush up really well. And then I'm going to go with a light hand from the bottom. That is not right. This brush isn't going to work for me. Let's see if this one works. This is a tiny one. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's better. Oh, you know what's happening? Here's what's happening. I'm doing that to myself. I need a fresh piece of cardstock for underneath. I'm actually bringing that color up myself onto my cardstock. So there's a tip. If that ever happens to you and you're like, why isn't this blending right? It's because I was reactivating the color on my scrap piece of paper and it was coming up into my Sandy Beach. So there you go. Let's try this again with a fresh piece. Okay. Yeah, it definitely, I know some of you say these big dies, they're hard to get through the machine, but it's true. If you turn them just a little bit on the way in, they're a lot easier to send through. But if you do that, I would highly recommend you use some purple tape to hold the die in place, because you do want to make sure that it doesn't shift and then all of a sudden your image isn't straight the way you want it. Use this, and I might go into maybe a little craft. Use a little craft. Maybe I'll get some craft. Where is it? Here it is. I'm up in the air on the craft. I'm going to do some more sandy beach here and see what I get. But this is a really nice neutral. This is actually what my house is. My house, the walls in my house are very much sandy beach. And then I have lots of things in my house that are sea glass and turquoise sea. I feel like it's a really nice beachy combination, even though I don't live at the beach. It's very beachy. It's a great combination too if you use the ocean-minded stamp set. It's a great combination for sand and sea. All right, so we'll stop about there. Go a little heavier down here at the bottom. All right. So remember, if you're watching this on the replay, that sale is no longer available, but you're not. You're watching it on the live right this second. But if you come back after October 4th, that sale price that's scrolling will be over. So if you're watching it now, I would definitely jump on and get the inks that you want at 15% off. All right, I need to clean this brush because this brush has blue denim on it. And I'm cleaning off to the side here, but I can do this in front of you to show you. I'm getting a lot of that blue off of there. Okay. So this might be a little bit different than actual sea glass, and that's okay. I kind of enjoy when my ink blending brush has a little color left over and it kind of changes the color ever so slightly of my ink blending. But you're still going to get, like if you just go straight ahead and use sea glass, you're still going to get a beautiful color. So again, I'm going really light-handed right along that edge of the sandy beach. And that gives me a little bit of a green, and that's okay. It's kind of what I want. And even if I don't want that, that's kind of what I got. All right, now I'm going to go a little heavier handed up a bit. And then I'm going to get into some of the darker turquoise colors. And I'm going to show you again, because you might be looking at this going, well, that doesn't look super smooth. When it dries, it's going to dry super smooth. And I'll show you the other ones now that they've completely dried. That smoothing agent that we have in there makes it look airbrushed. Okay. Can I spray ink cleaner on a paper towel and then clean your brushes that way? You know, I think you probably could, but then I would want to wash that out of my brush afterwards, because if you get ink cleaner on here, ink like stamp cleaner is a little greasy. So you definitely want to get rid of that by washing the brush afterwards. Okay, now I'm using Turquoise Sea next. Yes, thank you very much for mentioning that. We do have a sheet in the files section at Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends that explains the different inks that we carry and the different formulas and what they're used for. So I'm going down a little bit into that sea glass. And now I'm going to use turquoise, Tranquil Teal, that was Turquoise Sea. I'm going to finish it off with some Tranquil Teal. So you say bad word instead of swearing, Brenda? I got to try that. I don't know if that's going to feel as satisfying, but I'll give it I'll give it a good try. Okay, so now you can see this is a nice dark teal. And I'm just bringing that down into the Turquoise Sea. I love this color. Again, I'm doing that arc thing because I want it to look a little bit more like a sky. It's kind of how a sky looks, you know? It's always the colors when you look at them, they're kind of curved a little bit in the sky. Go a little darker up here at the top. Okay. All right, we'll give that a second to dry. And then I'm definitely going to use that other image that I wanted to use. This one here, definitely going to use this one. But I'm going to dry this a little bit with my heat tool. And it's not that it's wet, like it's going to smear, but I did put a lot of ink on there. So every once in a while, it's nice to just give it a little drying with the heat tool. Okay, so now I'm going to get my Misty back out again, and I'll put this up near the top. And I'm going to use that flower image that we talked about. I love silhouette stamps. You probably already know that because in the last 3 kits, I've done 2 stamp sets with silhouettes. I really love them. And if you love silhouette stamps, I have something really fun coming for our holiday kit. So that's another thing to look forward to because you know I do so many techniques with these that you can just do over and over, switching out the stamps and getting a completely different look. Okay. Get that off of there and place that where I want it.
What's the ink file?
What is the ink file?
Someone wants to know where to get it.
Okay, so if you're looking for any of the files that we have available, different charts, I have a chart for different layering combinations of ink, things like that. If you're looking for any of those, head over to our group, Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. If you're not a member, join the group. We'll let you in relatively quickly. And there's a files section over there. You click on the Files tab, and all the files are in there, all the different files that you can download and print. Okay, so praying for this one. Get my Chucky tool. So you'll find things like I did a sheet for different layering combinations for layered stamps. I did a sheet showing you different layouts for Master Layouts 1 and Master Layouts 2. I did a template for the little fall boxes that I did in my last live. And many of our members also shared files in there with ink swatching charts and all kinds of fun things. So head over to the group and join the group. It's a lot of fun, and there's a plethora of resources in there. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Now, you know, you can mix and match these too. You could always, let me just grab this top sheet. You can always, you know, do another set of weeds like down here if you wanted to. Have a few more weeds coming in. We can do that. Let's do that. Why not? All right. I have that stamp right here. So when you're doing something like that, you just kind of want to let's see. I'm going to move this over to here. This is a great time to use one of the Misty corners. So if you don't have Misty corners, you might want to pick that up. That goes in the corner. That's like a separate magnetic thing. And you put it up in the corner. And what that does is that allows you to get your piece of cardstock away from the side. So now I'm butting it up against there, and I have more room over here for my stamp. So I think
Roberta said, Tom, let Gina know it is now the media tab. Facebook changed it.
Oh, thank you for letting me know. All right, so it's not files anymore. It's the media tab. Thank you. I want to see what this looks like here. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to like turn it just a little bit. I always use my sheet to kind of look and see what I'm going to do before I do it. So the media tab. Okay. I did not notice that. That's good to know, because I've been saying files tab for a while now, and if there isn't a files tab, that can be very frustrating. So thank you. Thank you for that update. These a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Ooh, what a mess that looks like, huh? But it looks good when it's done, doesn't it? Let me get it out of here. Look how inky I am, but that's a good thing. Let me pull that out and see what that looks like. So you can mix and match the different silhouettes together. And then right after that, go get a manicure because it's a mess. All right, so let me get this off of here. Clean my stamp. I don't know what I'd do without my tidy towels. I have like 3 of them. So if there's ever a time where you're like, I only need this, but I really want to get free shipping and I need to add one more thing, add another tidy towel. You can never go wrong with more than one. And it's nice to have them, one to clean your brushes on, one to clean your hands, and one to clean your stamps. Okay. So now I'm going to bring in the die cutting machine one last time, and we'll cut this out. Let me find my plates. Here they are.
Some people are saying the file tab is still there.
Oh, the file tab's still there? Okay. Well, to everyone's defense, Facebook is changing things, and they're changing things just for some people, but not for everyone. So where'd my die go? I lost my die. No, here it is. So, 1 minute you'll look at it and it'll be the files tab. And then the next minute you'll look at it, it'll be the media tab. So if you don't see files, look for media. If you see files, then you found it. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, so definitely, look for files, at least to see if there's a files tab in the group. And that's where I saw one that I put up there the other day. So give it a try, and if not, it very well could be changed. Okay, so what do you think of that combination? Isn't that pretty? I love this one. Okay, I'm going to get this out of the way, and we will assemble our final card. And then I think for the rest of the day, it would be super fun to just practice ink blending, come up with new combinations, and see what you can come up with. There is one more color combination that I wanted to do, but I'm going to do that in another video because I will never, ever be done ink blending. So why not save a couple? But definitely when you do these kinds of ink blends, definitely consider using white card bases with them. So let me zoom in here a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. No, we still can't open our brick and mortar store. I don't know if you guys have been following along with what's going on with Wisconsin, but we are standing on the top of the podium for COVID-19 cases. Our numbers are growing so fast, and our state is in a lawsuit right now because people are trying to get the mask mandate removed. So, there's no way with my diabetes and with different comorbidities that people on our staff have and our customers that we're going to open our store while our area is so bad. Okay, so my heart is filled with gratitude. I haven't used that greeting yet. Have I? No. I'm going to use that one. So until this all gets figured out, I think we're just going to stay online and keep doing lives and connecting with you guys this way. Is there a reason I chose not to use the Tim Holtz craft mat or a craft mat? Well, I think the Tim Holtz mat is amazing. I love his mat, but I have a really hard time when I'm doing video with the glare. So instead of using that, I just use a mat that I purchased at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's not a mat like a craft mat where you can clean it easily. I have to replace it sometimes because it gets bad. So if you can get a glass mat, the Tim Holtz mat, get it, because it's amazing and it's just so easy to clean. But I have trouble, like I said, with the glare. So that's why I don't use one in my lives. Nice. Nice. So for Thanksgiving, and I feel like fall is always the season of gratitude. For Thanksgiving, although every once in a while I might make a Thanksgiving card, so I love having a Thanksgiving greeting, I also really like sending cards of gratitude and just let people know how important they are in my life. So there we go. That's beautiful, that color combination. I'm going to need a bath after this episode. I'm so covered with ink. All right, here we go. These were very inky projects today. Okay. So there is my final card. Let's see. This one was the Sandy Beach, Sea Glass, Turquoise Sea, and Tranquil Teal. This one was Wild Dandelion, Sweet Mango, and Coral Reef. Got back out a little bit. And this one, the first one we did, this is like a sunset card. This one is Sweet Mango, Sea Glass, Turquoise Sea, Tranquil Teal, and Blue Denim. So I will definitely, post those color combinations when I take pictures of these cards and post them over in our Facebook group, so you guys will know all the colors I used for each of these cards. And of course, you can always watch the replay to see how it's done again. Well, I hope that you liked those. That was fun. I hope you guys had a good time. I had so much fun with you today. Happy World Card Making Day, the happiest day of the year for card makers and paper crafters all over the world. Lots of things going on all over the internet. Many of my friends are also doing lives today, and I'm sure if you're in different Facebook groups like Stamp Junkies and Stamp Enablers, people are sharing links to those too. I can't thank you enough for making a little bit of time for me today with all the other options out there. It's been so much fun. Remember, today and tomorrow only, we have the coupon code LIVEINK, LIVEINK 15. And that will take 15% off any ink pads or ink cubes or re-inkers that you put in your cart today. And those are for the single pads, single cubes, and single re-inkers. It's not valid on sets. We are out of most of the sets anyway, but we have lots. Rena's inks too. Yeah, I believe Rena's inks. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure Rena's inks as well. If not, I will make sure that they get into that category. So I will be back on Monday for another Mix It Up Monday Live. If this is your first time joining me for a live, I usually go live Monday and Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. Occasionally, I have special guests like Gina K from Gina K Designs, and even Tom K, who's over there behind the magic curtain, keeping our camera going. I don't know what's going on. We'll figure that out for Monday. But you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I love you all. Mwah! And I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.